Yeah, what up? This is Mr. Royce of Royce Media coming at you guys with another video, with another live stream. Come through, check it out. How y'all doing? Can y'all hear me? I certainly hope so. How y'all doing today, man? Y'all good? This is hump day. So it's the middle of the week, middle of the work week. Some of y'all, that hump might take on a different meaning. I ain't mad at you if it does. Tell Big Shirley I said, hey. Know y'all laid up with Big Shirley. I know what y'all do. Can't fool me. Yeah, man. Yeah, so it's a lot going on in the news today. We're going to talk about a little bit of it. The big thing that happened was last night. You had the first debate between former President Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. And it was a pretty good debate. It was a pretty good debate. My thoughts of the debate, well, as far as Vice President Harris, she came out pretty much in the way I expected her to come out because she is a DA and she's used to debating her points in front of an audience, such as a judge and a jury and the audience in the courtroom. So she came out pretty much true to form. So I wasn't surprised. And as for Trump, he came out pretty much as Trump. As far as holding his composure, I think he did a pretty good job until the end of the debate. Um, After she kept goading him, I think he kind of got frustrated with her. So, it is what it is. We know what Trump is like, so that's not surprising at all. My takeaways from the debate was that I think Trump hit a lot of points. I don't think he used. I don't think he gave as much context as he could, and that's because, in my opinion, he was actually debating in a situation where it was 3 against 1. I feel like the moderators were in the bag. They were in the car with Vice President Harris. So she basically it was basically a triple team. That's how I saw it. As far as it being mano, nah. I don't see it that way. In fact, one of the moderators was one of her sorors. So and it was evident that that person was in the bag for. So I wasn't surprised at how that went. Now, from what I'm hearing, it is alleged that she had an earpiece in her ear, an earpiece headphone set in her ear. And so if that's true, that certainly affected her performance in the debate. And if that's the case, she basically cheated. She basically cheated. I think Trump hit her with a lot of strong points, like about how she flip flops on policy. In particular, the fracking. Back when she was running, I think back in 2019, she was against fracking. But then in this debate, she was for fracking, and this is important in the case in because this debate took place in the state of Pennsylvania. So she wanted to play to the audience, and Pennsylvania is one of those states. That's a must-win state for the Democrats. And that's one of those places. How Pennsylvania goes, pretty much, is how the election is going to go. So, with her placating with the people there, because fracking is a big part of the economy there, it's a key part of the economy. I think she was playing to the audience, which that's not surprising because that's what presidential candidates do. And so that was obvious in the debate. We're going to take a look at some of the video from the debate. Shout out to, I believe I have my clip from ABC News, who hosted the debate. So we're going to take a brief look at some of that stuff when I get a few more people inside the chat room. So, in other news, apparently Shannon Sharp, who former NFL player, former sports commentator on ESPN, currently a podcaster, very popular podcaster. He's had some of the biggest episodes in the podcast world. Apparently, a sex tape was leaked out of him, engaging in the carnal act with a suspected Latina woman. Uh, I heard the audio. I didn't see any of the video. I heard the audio, and I saw a picture of the suspected participant in his activity, and all I got to say, at least it wasn't a man. At least it wasn't a man. Shannon has been dogged by certain suspicions about how he gets down, you know, um, about his dating life. So, seeing that this was a woman, and the voice I heard in the video, and well, in the recording, was a woman. So I was like, well, hey, at least it's a woman. Shannon Sharp is not married, so he's doing as people do who are single. So I don't have any issue with that. We'll probably cover that maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll cover that. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But getting back to this Trump versus Harris debate. As I said before, it seems like he was being triple teamed, and I, I I'm not surprised because pretty much the Democrats have a strong hold on the media. They have a strong hold on social media. We've seen recently with Mark Zuckerberg admitting that the DNC, the Democrats, leaned on his platform, leaned on him and his platform and his corporation, Facebook, in order to pump the attention in their direction. And so that I'm not surprised of. And pretty much the same thing's going on right now, especially with the mainstream media companies. And like I said before, social media. So seeing what happened with ABC, I'm not surprised at all. Let's well, let's we're gonna take a look at some of the video in a second. What I noticed with both candidates, and this is just being objective, they really didn't answer the questions as concisely as I would have liked. Take for instance the first question about the middle class. Kamala went into um, Vice President Harris. She went into basically a campaign, addressing it in the matter of a campaign. The question was asked, do they think the middle class is as strong as it used to be? And instead of her giving a concise answer, yes or no, and then going into why she thinks the middle class is strong, she went to um, basically trying to sell herself to the middle class and talking about her upbringing as her middle class upbringing, so forth and so on. And I thought, just answer the question. And likewise, when Trump was asked the question, he went into he went into campaign mode and talked about all of the things he did for the economy and how he had a strong economy during his presidency, so forth and so on. But neither one of them answered the question directly. Let's take a look at what Vice President Harris had to say. Let's pull this up, pull up the video, and we can talk about it. All right, this browser want to act funny. Let's see. All right, hold on. Let me get some volume for this. This is not going to do us any good without any volume. You know what I'm saying? So, see if we can find it. Okay, I'm not getting any volume. Let me find out what's going on. This is unusual. Still not getting any. Okay.
What should be the backs of middle-class people paying for tax cuts for billionaires?
President Trump, I'll give you 2 minutes.
We stop this because it's not doing what I need to do. Fair use, fair use. Before I go any further, fair use. See if we can try it again.
First of all, I have no sales tax. That's an incorrect statement. She knows that.
Stop it. All right, right there. Let's go.
When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid. And I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America. I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. And that is why I imagine and have actually a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy. Because here's the thing. We know that we have a shortage of homes and housing, and the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time, so that those young families can afford to buy a crib, buy a car.
Okay. Let me make a correction. The question that was asked by the moderator was, did the candidates think that the middle class was better off than they were a few years ago? And instead of giving a concise answer, they both went into campaigning. And I would have rather seen them answer the question first, yes or no, and then explain why. You know, they can add what they would do to further stimulate the economy or to change the direction of the economy, depending on how they answered. After they answered the question concisely, then we can see here Vice President Harris, she just went straight into campaign mode. I didn't like that. Let's continue. Fair use, fair use.
Buy clothes for their children. My passion, one of them, is small businesses. My mother raised my sister and me, but there was a woman who helped raise us. We call her our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small businesses. My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to start up small businesses, knowing they are part of the backbone of America's economy. My opponent, on the other hand, his plan is to do what he has done before, which is to provide a tax cut for billionaires and big corporations, which will result in $5 trillion to America's deficit. My opponent has a plan that I call the Trump's sales tax, which would be a 20% tax on everyday goods that you rely on to get through the month.
All right, let's stop right here for a second. About this 20% sales tax, on its face, I don't have an issue with that. If that's all it was, if it was just 20% on items that were bought, I've got no issue with that because you can choose. You have latitude in whether you can make purchases or not. So I don't have an issue with that. Where I have an issue is that it still doesn't address property taxes, licensing taxes, taxes for, you know, certain local ordinances and issues. That doesn't cover that. And so I think on its face, that sounds good to me, but it's also very misleading because again, it doesn't address state and state taxes, county taxes, so forth and so on. If you look at the situation in Chicago, the property taxes there in Cook County, in Illinois are ridiculous. You got houses that are $500,000 in value that have taxes as high as $10,000, $15,000. That's ridiculous. And what she was accusing Trump of, it doesn't address that, and she doesn't address it in her plan either. Let's continue. Fair use, fair use.
Economists have said that Trump sales tax would actually result for middle-class families in about $4,000 more a year because of his policies and his ideas about what should be the backs of middle-class people paying for tax cuts for billionaires.
President Trump, I'll give you 2 minutes.
First of all, I have no sales tax. That's an
All right, let's stop for a second. Again, okay, she talks about a tax increase of $4,000 out of the pockets of the average citizen. That's misleading because it doesn't take into account the option of choice to whether to make certain purchases or not, especially for items that families don't need. She doesn't address that, and so I think her point was very misleading. That's my opinion, but I'm not an economist. I'm just giving you what I see and my experiences with taxes. Let's let's continue. Let me get back to what I was doing. I'm having a little trouble with the all right, so it was ridiculous, man. You know, sometimes let me refresh this. See if we can go back to where I was at. Having a little trouble with the video. Sometimes when I use OBS and I pull up video links, for some reason the links will change and I wind up with something that playing something I never intended on playing. So let's try this again. See, now YouTube want to play with me. Let me see if I can grab the link again and go back to the link I'm playing. It's playing a Trump rally when that wasn't what I intended on showing. So let me try this one more time. It's pretty annoying, y'all. Ah, put something in the link band where now what I was playing won't play. I tell you, man, YouTube won't let me be great. All right. Let's see what we. All right, man. I know what I got to do from now on. I just got to make copies, video clips of what I want to show and do it that way. I don't like doing it that way because it's more work, but hey, you, you know. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. Throughout the debate, there was a lot of questions that I felt like weren't answered directly, and that's kind of annoying because I like when I'm listening to debates and when I've given presentations and stuff, I make the I address the question at hand with the yes or no, and I explain my position from there. And if I need to propose solutions to those questions, then that's what I do. And then I'll take any questions uh, about that topic once I give my initial presentation. I'll address any questions from there to see to explore the topic further. So I don't think either candidate did that. As we went on in the debate, since I can't pull the link back up, Trump basically put out the point that uh, Vice President Harris, used a lot of used a lot of Trump's policy points, and more or less said he was going to send out a MAGA hat. Yeah, what up, Angry? Shout out to my brother Angry Snowman. He's in the chat. He provides very very good, very provocative content. If you're not already subscribed to his channel, go check out his channel. Yep. So Angry Snowman says they got that knee on all our necks. Yeah, man. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Y'all hear that rain? Yeah, man. I'm raining. I'm out on my lanai and it's raining on the roof of my lanai. So that that's going to affect my sound quality. So sorry about that. I didn't think it was going to rain till later, but this is what we have. Oh man, it's coming down. It's coming down, Jack. Yeah, angry that debate was trash. It's trash. Put it bluntly. I think Trump held his own, considering he was debating against three people. Hey, so I got all right, looking like I might have to shut this down. I'm gonna come back tomorrow. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and we're gonna address this tomorrow because this is ruined for the rest of the night. Damn it. All right. It's Mr. Royce Media. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace.